Hey there, welcome to episode 126. Let's see if we have audio issues tonight. Last night we had some audio issues, it was kind of crazy. So let's see what's going on. Carrie's checking in on Instagram. Good evening to you. Denise is here. 2 nights in a row. I know, 2 nights in a row. What's up with that? It's a daily show, right? We know that. It happens every single day, except for the days that it doesn't. So David, good evening to you. Colby's here. Alicia's here. Lisa is here. Man, it's good to see all of you. Wow, Rachel's even here. Rachel on Instagram, good evening to you. So Rachel and I were just chatting back and forth just before the show. And, maybe I'll work our conversation into the show, Rachel. Maybe. We'll see. Karen's checking in. Let's see who else we got. I missed a couple. Tammy, cutting up the veggies. Very nice. Wheaton, Elisa's here. Diane, good evening to you. Jamie's here. Good evening. Liz, I think I got Liz. Let's see. All kinds of fun stuff. Amanda from Atlanta, good evening. Angie's here. Donna's here. Woo! Liz, that's incredible work, right? You got a 5-pound sticker for 95 pounds down. It doesn't happen by accident. That's pretty cool. 95 pounds is cool. Very, very cool. Steven's checking in. Good evening to you. Jennifer is from Trophy Club, Texas. Very cool. Ottawa, Canada. Danielle, good evening to you. Christy's from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Good evening. Liz, hello. Teresa's hello. Chris, good evening to you. Hey, Chris, did you see the news in... Rachel, you might want to tell Chris the news. I'm not going to share the news here. But Rachel, you should probably tell Chris the news. Denise, good evening. I got you there. Vicky, hello. Karen, hello. Linda, checking in from Indiana. Good evening. Steven's here. Whoop, whoop. Let's see. Yeah, Becky says, hello, Wisers. I like it. Wise Wingmen is what we're doing. For those of you who already aren't, I made a Facebook group called wisewingmen.com. So if you go to wisewingmen.com, it'll put you into the Facebook group. For those of you on Facebook, some of you on Instagram, we don't have a group for you yet. Working on it. Beth, good evening from Sholo, Arizona. Very nice. Let's see who else we got here. Joy is here. Teresa's here. Jennifer, you can. It says Jennifer's asking, can you tell me how to make Facebook notify you when I go live? So under the same, you go to the Fat Dag page that I'm live on right now, and near where you would unfollow a page, there is a button to say notify when live or something like that. So you can do that. So, cool. So on Instagram, Tamara, I guess, is saying, she said, thank you for your service. I told your cadet son about me. He's a United States at the Air Force Academy, which is very, very cool. He's impressed with your weight loss and your rank. So, very cool. The weight loss was hard work. The rank was, I think, just I'm old. So that's all that means. I'm old and they haven't kicked me out yet. But very, very fun anyways. Julie said, I almost had a car accident right now and just figured out you're wise. Well, write it in or share it here, but don't have a car accident. That's not fun. That's not part of the deal. Carol from Kokomo, yep, listen in the morning for sure. That's why we put it on Facebook and we put it on Instagram. Instagram. But you can YouTube. You can listen from YouTube tomorrow as well. Sue from Minnesota. April from Georgia, good evening to you. Danielle, yeah, that Wingman group. So I don't get a ton of time to play around in there. It's mostly for you guys to interact with each other. I'll pop in every once in a while. I'll read through them quickly. I'll give you a quick little thumbs up, letting you know I saw it. But it's hard for me. That's just another space for me to interact in, which is very difficult. But Steven's in there and David's in there, and those guys help me kind of keep things on track in there, which is kind of cool. But it's really a community for you guys. So wisewingmen.com will get you there. So over on Instagram, Meow Nurse says your hubby is retired Air Force. Very, very fun. Ruth Ann's here, Tallahassee, Florida. Katie's here. Good evening. Man, you guys are all kinds of fun people. All right, let's get this one. You guys ready to get this done? Episode 126. Amanda's from Cookeville, Tennessee. Kenneth at Scarsdale, New York. Very fun. Jamie's on episode 125. Very nice. Yep, Nikki catching a live show. Woohoo! Live show's fun. Jan, good evening to you. Hey, says Brandy. Let's see. All right, cool. All right, let's get to. I'm going to get a sound check. I didn't do one before the show, so bear with me if it doesn't go well. I have the Book of Awesome ready, right? So let me know what's awesome when I come back from the sound check. We'll get awesome stuff written down because that's always the fun part. And then we have episode 126 right here, ready to go. So let's do a sound check. Yikes, that didn't sound good. Mic check, testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3. Yeah, every once in a while, I don't know why, when I record the audio, it's just terrible back there, so I got to work on that for a second. So, Susan checking in from Hawaii, very fun. Let's see. I like that one. Let's get that written down while the computer reboots. Got a lot written in this little book. I think when we're done writing through this whole book, I'll put it on eBay, and we'll give all the money to charity. How fun would that be? Like no one would bid on it, right? Let's go. Diane says, I have a high school reunion this weekend, and I weigh less now than I did when I was in high school. That's pretty impressive. That's very, very impressive. Mic check, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. All right, that sounds better. Thank you. All right, let's get that done. All right, cool. Sorry about that. I had to reboot, but we're good there. Let's see. Ann's here. Good evening. Woohoo! Let's see what else we got. Yeah, look at that one. That's pretty good too. Jennifer says, I ate Mexican food out, didn't eat a single chip. Don't even miss them. You know, when you get to that point where you've completely changed your palate, you're going to win. A lot of things we do, you know, chips at a Mexican restaurant is kind of a habit for a lot of us. You know, we didn't order them. They just put them in front of you. And so you take them because they're there, not necessarily because you wanted them. And then we usually order some queso to go with them because they brought us the chips. That's what we do. So it's kind of silly. So when you can get to the point where you don't want it because you never wanted it in the first place, that's pretty fun. Yeah, Ginger, you're always better to come check it out live. Huh, that's funny. Cheryl's checking in from Franklin. Yep, see you Saturday. Looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Jamie, that'd be fun. Oprah would... So we got a lot of work to do because I just wrote in 3 here. So this is where we're at. We're going to turn the page blank slate tomorrow, but we got a lot of writing to do. So you guys need to step it up, right? And bring up those non-scale victories so we can get them all written down. Maybe let's develop a hashtag on Connect, right? Book of Awesome. Hashtag Book of Awesome. If you use that hashtag on Connect, I'll dig through there and kind of write a couple in to help us fill the book up. So, cool. Hashtag Book of Awesome. Very cool. All right. I'm going to skip ahead. Let's see. Scrolling through. All right, here we go. We're going to go episode 126. Get it live because I know there's a dilemma, right? Some people want to only come in and see the show. Some people want to come in and hang out. So it's a balance. So we're going to kind of do a little bit of both. That's good there. That's good there. Audio still looks good. Cheers. Hashtag Book of Awesome. Yep. You could do it on Facebook too, I guess, and probably do it on Instagram too. I still promise you I won't see them all. Man, I tell you, that's the hardest thing. The biggest adjustment for me is that I want to read everything you write. I want to answer everything you guys write. It's just physically impossible, and I wish that wasn't the case. Here we go, episode 126 coming up live. Hey, I forgot to tell you before we start this. So obviously, you guys know I'm a leader here up in Indianapolis for Weight Watchers. I lead a meeting in Carmel, lead a meeting in Plainfield. For the next handful of weeks, I'll be leading a meeting down in Franklin. So obviously, very happy to do that. But everything that we talk about here tonight is just my opinion. It's not official Weight Watcher endorsed product. So take it with a grain of salt. If you like what you hear, enjoy it, go with it. If you don't like what you hear, don't blame them, blame me. Cool? All right, episode 126 coming up. I am your host, Fat Dag, and you're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. That's right, episode 126 of Wise Advice coming right up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. It continues to amaze me how we have an amazing community of folks who just flat out get it. People who want nothing more than to be successful in their weight loss journey, so they rally together, they lift each other up. That's what we do. The podcast is nothing more than a reminder for you that you can do this. It takes a little bit of focus. It takes deliberate effort. You have to have a goal. You have to know what it is that you're rooting for, what you're trying to get done. And if you know all that and you have the right support network, you absolutely can get that done. I believe that you can do it. And as a matter of fact, I know so much that you can do it that I'm willing to invest the time to let you know that I know you can do it. So thank you for being here. We'll open up the show with Bridget. Bridget writes in and says, "Good evening, Mike. I heard about your podcast in my Saturday 6:30 a.m. meeting. I've been paying to sit in the seat that I call mine, and I've been struggling for years. I download a couple of podcasts so I can listen on my way to work to get my head in the game. I usually do pretty good for a while, but like so many others, I have some success, and I celebrate the wrong way, going back into my old habits. At times, I think I fear success. When I get compliments on how I look, I get nervous and I slide back down the slide the wrong way. It's so crazy, I know. After listening to your show, I am tracking the majority of the time trying to get my blue dots, which my awesome leader Joan had to show me where to find them. My goal is to have more blue dots in a week than not. So far, so good. My first 2 weeks I was down 3.5, then 1.4, but the following week back up 1.5. I tend to do this. I have a couple of weeks with small losses, then 1 to 2 weigh-ins with gains. My goal this month is to have more losses than gains. I told myself that I actually need to do the program that I'm paying for. So for the rest of the month, I'm tracking good or bad, it's going in the app. Thank you for reminding me that when I'm out of points, stop eating points. Thanks again, Bridget. Bridget, you're absolutely welcome. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank your Saturday 6:30 a.m. meeting for sharing the podcast. That's the number one way that we will continue to grow the community here and work with each other, is that you guys reaching out and letting other people know how to find it. You know, it's very difficult at times if you're not familiar with the term podcast to explain what a podcast is. That's exactly why I developed the app. Simply, you can go to the App Store and look for Wise Advice. That's the easiest way to refer someone to the show. I appreciate you guys all doing that because that's what kind of keeps us all bound together and keeping it going. The reason I do that for you, Bridget, the reason I want you to know that we're out here for you is because everything you wrote in happens to probably every single one of us along this journey. We struggle. Struggle is a part of it if you allow it to be a part of it. What I want you to do is I want you to take the word struggle and I want you to kind of erase it from your vocabulary as it relates to this journey. What I want you to do is I want you to replace struggle with working the plan. I want you to work the plan. I want you to track and get the blue dots exactly like you said. Now, look at as you wrote in your email. You said, after listening to your show, I am now tracking majority of the time to get my blue dots. Majority of the time is a much improved scenario over probably where you started. But I really want you to take the next step. I want you to go from majority of the time to like all of the time. Good or bad, the more you track, the more of an education you're going to get on what food is helping you reach your goals or not helping you reach your goals. One of the things I know about this journey is that there is no such thing as a bad food. There are foods that are aligned with your goal, and there are foods that are not aligned with your goal. Now, you can have foods that are aligned with your goal that at some point do not align with your goal. Bear with me as I explain it. So, for instance, for me, pizza is one of those foods that I enjoy. There are some times as I'm working the plan that I can have it and I can make the decision to have it because it's aligned with my goal. But the following day, it may no longer be aligned, so I have to then make the decision to have something different. And that is what tracking teaches you. Tracking and getting the blue dots, getting 30 blue dots a month, working the plan to the best of your ability, the plan that you're paying for, the plan that was designed by really smart people sitting in a room with years of research and focus and effort. They came up with a plan that is proven to have success. Every year, every time the plan gets tweaked, they make, or not, every time they continue to monitor the results that we're getting and they continue to make the plan better for us. We can't overthink the plan. The plan is simply tracking, following the plan, showing up, and getting it done. The more disciplined you are working the plan and following the plan, the better the success you're going to have long term. It takes that focus. It takes discipline. And we understand that exactly like you said, that once you start having the success, it's real easy to fall back into complacency. If you start this journey, and the reason you start the journey because your pants were too tight, it doesn't take long for them to fit again. You can follow the plan pretty well. You can lose 10, 15 pounds, whatever it takes for that pair of pants to fit again. What I want you to do is I want you to get to the point where they don't fit because they're too big, and you start going through the sizes and you get down to a pair that reaches you at your goal weight. You have to be disciplined. You have to stay focused. You have to want this more than anything. Your goal, you said, is to have more blue dots in a week than not. What I want your goal to be, I want to have consistency. I want to consistently follow the plan. I want to consistently set an attendance goal with my activity. I want to do something that I can just kind of put on autopilot and maintain the weight or lose the weight that I need to lose. Consistency is the name of the game. You absolutely can do it. Now, the blue dots, if you haven't heard them before, if you're a new listener or if you're new to the program, in your app, the Journey tab, click on that tab, you'll see a calendar. The calendar will color the day blue if you eat within a healthy eating zone, which is -3 to +7 of your daily point allowance. Now, you can do that, every day of the week, but at some point you have to stop eating points when you're out of points, because the app will reward you for going negative if you stick, +7 on your blue dots every day. There's a couple episodes, I think episode 16 is one. Go back and listen to some early episodes. Use the search feature in the app to look for blue dots to get an explanation. But in general, the concept is the blue dots allow you to systematically eat however you need to eat to stay on plan, using your dailies and using your weeklies, keeping it in a healthy, moderated range. That works very well for most folks. Look it up and follow it. Last thing for you is you said you've told yourself that you actually need to do the program that you're paying for. I cannot agree with you anymore. And I'll say this with the most amount of love there is if you're not going to follow the program, then quit paying for it. It becomes expensive to continue to pay for a program that you're not following. The program gets results. The program works. I want you to follow the program. My definition of following the program is doing your best. I'm not asking you to be perfect on it. I'm asking you to try your best to stay mindful daily to the process, tweak your plan, how you need for your success, but stay mindfully engaged. That is what your attendance goal of being in the chair is doing for you. Take it to the next level and follow the plan as it was designed, and you will get to your goal. Tracking is the key to all of this. Tracking is teaching you how to eat. For a long time, none of us have been taught that. We've just kind of had to figure this out on our own. And what I want you to do is I want you to track, because as you start tracking, you'll start noticing what things don't align with your goals. And as they don't align with your goals currently, that is the point where you then have to make the decision that to stop eating points when you're out of points. And when you do all those things combined, you can get to wherever it is you want to get to. The beautiful thing about this plan is you don't have to be perfect on the plan. You just have to want to do the plan to the best of your ability under the current set of circumstances. Bridget, thank you for your email. Jeffrey writes in, says, hello, Mike. I know you're not a doctor or a nutritionist, but I bet many who listen to you are. I have been at Weight Watchers since March of 2017. I love it. It has been life-changing. I've changed my mindset and values as it relates to food and a healthy lifestyle. I've lost 33 pounds so far, and I will continue to go to meetings weekly and track daily, long past goal, whenever that is. And as this is what focus and discipline is for me now. I also exercise regularly now, 30 to 40 minutes, nearly daily on an elliptical, and occasionally light weights and yoga. I have never been very disciplined with vitamins, and fortunately, I don't have to take any meds daily. But whenever I get a cold, I wonder if I should have been taking supplements. A daily multivitamin, fish oil, vitamin D, zinc, or whatever. I've taken supplements off and on, but not consistently. Is there any advice or rule of thumb the Weight Watcher world or experts have on the topic, or is it just up to the individual? I'd even take some guidance on an authoritative source online to read, or a book, though it seems there are way too many opinions out there to all be right. Any guidance would be welcome, and like so many others have done before me, I do want to thank you for your passion and your commitment to this community and to our country, Jeffrey. Well, Jeffrey, I'm absolutely honored to be able to do this, and one of the coolest things about my journey is the fact that when I first started, I didn't think I had the ability to get to goal, but when I got to goal, the first thing I knew is that I wanted you to join me. And so I want nothing more than to share everything I have learned throughout this process so that you too can get to goal. So that you too can say, you know what, hey, I'm at a place I've never been at and I'm healthy. Now, as far as, supplements and vitamins, I don't have an opinion on that. And what I'll say to that, I'll give you kind of the legal textbook answer is go see your doctor, go see your nutritionist. That is probably the only source that you should take with any sort of any gospel, right? Sir, you think about it, go to WebMD, right? WebMD.com. And you can find just about any ailment in that website. And if you read it long enough and you read the symptoms long enough, you'll swear that you have that, right? And so you start reading things. Oh my God, I have that. Oh my, I have that. I have that. Next thing you know, you're rushing to the ER when all you were trying to figure out was should you take a multivitamin. So I don't want to do that to you. What I want you to do is I want you to sit down with someone who you can have a conversation with. I don't want you to read one source that was written by someone based on a scenario that only they know. I want you to sit down with someone who's highly trained in the field, who dedicated their life to helping people. And I want you to sit with them and I want you to have a discussion about your health goals, your overall health, your medical history. And at that point, follow that recommendation because that is going to be the true advice. These folks go to medical school for years and years and years. There's no way that a simple website or a guy doing a podcast can replace that knowledge. So there's things that they're going to recommend that I want you to go ahead and follow with that. So thanks for your email. But I'm sorry I don't have the great answer for you with, say, go buy a multivitamin or take this or take that. It would just be a complete haphazard guess for me to suggest it. So if I were to tell you take a multivitamin, the next question you'd ask me is which one? And I don't have the research to back that up to say this is the one. Sit with someone who's highly trained, who's dedicated their life to helping you do that. Navigate those waters and follow their lead. That's what they're there for. And continue at that point doing what they say. But let's talk about you for a second. You're down 33 pounds and you're doing well. So whatever you're doing clearly is working. You've adjusted your mindset, and that's very evident as I read through here that, you also exercise regularly, 30 to 40 minutes a day on an elliptical, light weights. All of this stuff is stuff that you weren't doing before. You've made drastic improvements to your life. You have completely regained all the health benefit that you may have lost by not taking care of your body before. So I promise you that what you're doing currently is absolutely aiding in your longevity, and you're no longer borrowing from your life expectancy to cover the bad habits of today. Keep up the amazing work. Check in with your doc, see how everything else is going, and go from there. Thanks for your email, Jeffrey. Always great to hear from you, sir. Out of New York, Diane writes in and says, "Hi, Not Fat Dag. My name is Diane, and I'm from New York. I'm writing this as you requested us to do to celebrate reaching my 10% goal. Yay! I'm also writing to thank you for helping me reach that goal. Before I begin my story, I want to thank you for your service to our country. I am the daughter of a 92-year-old World War II vet who is also still living and very proud of his service too. I also want to thank you for your service to our Weight Watcher community. By generously taking your time from your busy life, you are helping countless members who, like myself, struggle with their weight. You have made such a difference in my journey that the words thank you do not begin to express my gratitude. I've always been the heavy girl in my life. The first reference I remember was as a teenager. I am 66 years old today, and I attended a public middle school many years ago when girls could only wear dresses, skirts, and blouses. The rule changed, and when I wore pants for the very first time, my teacher said she never knew I was so big. Like many of us, I just buried my shame, something that I still do today. I first joined Weight Watchers with my mom when I was in high school. I reached goal, and we celebrated by eating all the junk food we could find, and I gained all the weight back plus a few extra pounds. Over the years, I have rejoined, lost the weight, and again, gained it back countless times. When I was in my 40s and I hit my highest weight, I started to worry and knew this yo-yo dieting had to stop. I looked and I felt horrible. I again joined Weight Watchers and also a gym. With a combination of exercise and improved eating, I have successfully kept off 20 to 25 pounds. I am an overweight lifetime member, paying dues each week when I should finally get to my goal and have a free seat. I have told myself for 25 years, I wish I was exaggerating, by attending meetings that I am maintaining my weight, sometimes referred to as my socially acceptable weight, even if I'm not at goal. But now, being in my mid-60s, being overweight comes with more aches and pains than when I was younger. From your podcast, I have learned that I have fallen into the complacency trap for all of these years. Well, no more. I have the attendance goal that you have taught me, and I walk every day. I also attend my meeting room every week, and for the first time I went to a meeting out of state when I was traveling. As you and my leader says, a shout out to the Saturday Mornings with Fran, I will keep my why close by. As you said, when I concentrated on how, I didn't stay on the program. My goal is a blue dot each day and honest tracking. I never knew I needed a tool every day. You are my wingman as I listen to you on my walk each morning. I follow people on Connect when I see good role models. I'm on your Facebook page too. Goal is still at a distance and I'm still at an unhealthy weight, but I am closer to that goal than ever, and I know with continued focus I will get there. Thank you again for being my wingman and having the confidence in me before I had it myself. Thanks for making this a positive, helpful, and dynamic community. Together, we will accomplish what we couldn't do alone. Also, tell seniors out there that it's never too late. Thank you again for your service to our country and taking the time to do all that you do. You are a very special person with a gift to help others in a tactful, kind, yet firm way. I wish you continued help, dedication, and focus. Diane from New York. Diane, let's start with the obvious, 10%. Congratulations. If you've hit 10%, you've heard me say this more than once, if you've hit 10%, you can absolutely hit goal. Congratulations on doing that. When you hit your 10%, the plan doesn't change. We don't give you any new tools. Nothing changes in your plan, except for you just now need to continue doing everything that you've proven to yourself that you can do. Great job getting it done. Thank you to your father, 92-year-old World War II veteran. I hope for sure he's had a chance to get to Washington, D.C. and see the World War II memorial monuments. It's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. I hope, I really hope he's had that opportunity. If for some reason he hasn't, please reach out to me. I'll connect you with an organization who will take him there to get that done. It's something he absolutely needs to see in his lifetime. So thank him from the very bottom of our heart, because what I like to say is that for those folks who served before us, if they didn't do what they did, then none of us would have the ability to do what we do. And if you think about that, that relates to our Weight Watcher journey. Now, nowhere near am I comparing myself to a World War II veteran, but what I want you to know is that as people before us continue to do great things, that shows you that it's possible. So as I joined Weight Watchers, as I started losing the weight, I found very inspiring people who got me to the right mindset. That is what I want to instill in you. I want you to know that you absolutely can do this. You're getting it done, and you clearly have the ability. Since you've reached 10%, we know you can get there. Now, let's talk about the shame. Like many of us, you said you buried your head in the shame. I don't want you to do that. I want you to stop right now with that mindset. There's absolutely nothing shameful about anything in your life history. Everything in your life that you've done, good, bad, or indifferent, has led you to the place that you are today, and today you're taking care of your health. The things you've learned along the way is what's going to propel you to get to your goal. Rather than burying your head in shame, I want you to raise your head high in celebration, because you're taking charge of a life that at some point you let get a little out of control, and you are now ready to tackle it and get it done. That's an amazing accomplishment. You've gotten to the point where you now have owned this responsibility that you have to yourself, and you're getting it done. Now, for 25 years, attending meetings and maintaining your weight, it says that, referred to as that socially acceptable weight. I understand that. And getting to goal is so different. The only way to describe it is for you to get there. I can only tell you how awesome it is and encourage you to fight so hard to get there. I said this in last night's show, being a pound or two above goal is not the same thing as being at goal. It's not a 2-pound difference. It's a world of difference. It's a complete mindset difference. Those last 2, 5, whatever pounds, that's the difference between being slightly above goal and at goal, is absolutely different. And I'm talking about the goal where you have determined that you're at goal. A scale didn't tell you, a clothing size didn't tell you, but your mind said, whatever I weigh right now, whatever size I am right now, I am 100% happy with that. When you get there, that is what we call goal. Now, we certainly know that when you get there, you cannot go celebrating by eating all the junk food in the world. Time and time again, we've learned that that is not the right answer. So what you have to do is you have to follow the plan properly. You have to change your life. You have to make the adjustments necessary so that when you reach goal, the things that you used to eat aren't options in your plate. And they're certainly optional, but you have chosen to not have them. And you've made that decision consciously because it doesn't align with your new lifestyle. When you get there, that travels in, and that says that you're at goal. Congratulations on getting it. Let's talk about the podcast. Let's talk about honest tracking. If we attend a meeting once a week, once a week you leave that meeting, everybody leaves the meeting room on fire. And then you go to bed, you wake up the next morning. If that fire didn't stay burning through the night, you wake up and you have to rekindle that fire. That's the whole reason that I do the show every single day, except for the days that I don't. I do it every single day so that you have something in the morning to remind you that you set out on a mission to change your life. Mentally, you are very close to goal. I'd even say you're probably even actually there, but I'd like to see a couple more comments in your note that reaffirms that to me. But I believe that you can get there. I believe that when you get your mind to goal first, your body and your mind will eventually align, and the scale is always the last to know that you've made it to goal. Continue working this every day. Continue doing all of the things that you've done to get to this point. When you were out of state, you went to a meeting, that's winning. You set yourself an attendance goal, you walk every day, that's winning. You're giving a shout out to your leader saying, congratulations to them and thank you to them. That's winning, because now you're reaching back to help other folks. You're working with a community. You're working in this framework all together to get it done. So Diane, I'm very proud of you. I cannot wait to see you step on the scale. No longer wanting to lose weight, saying, I am at goal. Congratulations. Out of South Dakota, Becky writes in, says, hello, Fat Dag. I'm writing with a monumental 5% celebration. You see, this is not just 5%. I've been a Weight Watcher member off and on for 26 years through 2 pregnancies, many moves, and life's ups and downs. Each time starting at a higher weight until I topped out at 223 pounds. I remained focused and I achieved my 25-pound charm. However, I then let the good enough demon in. This last spring, I transferred back again from an online status to meetings. And I was disappointed when my previous record was erased and I was back to day one. They said they could recapture it, however, I decided to start fresh. Today, I am proud to say I achieved my new 5% on top of my previous 25-pound loss. I am determined and focused to eliminate the next 43 pounds and get to goal. Thank you for your podcast and being my wingman. They have kept me focused on my why and pushed me into a decade I have not seen in 10 years. I will remain focused and determined. Becky out of South Dakota. Well, Becky, congratulations on hitting your 5% on top of your 25-pound charm. That's amazing work. 25 pounds doesn't happen by accident. As you reset, you had that small goal. I believe this is actually a very good technique for you. Because at 25 pounds, it's very easy to fall into that complacency trap, letting those demons come back in of the good enough. And so if you were to reset, if you were not to have reset, and you were trying to go from 25 pounds to 30 pounds, you had to fight that complacency. When you reset everything, all of a sudden now you have a small victory of that 5%. It's kind of like you're starting over. Starting over on week 1 brings an intensity that is very hard to duplicate. And now you had the luxury of duplicating that intensity in the middle of your journey. I can tell you a couple things about your journey. The data does not matter. Very few people I meet today give 2 cares about the actual numbers in my weight loss journey. I'm starting to run into people more and more that have no idea who I am or what I've done or anything about my journey. And I like that. And very rarely do I share that with them. But on the chances that I do have an opportunity to share the journey, very few care about the numbers. They want to know about how I did it, in general. They want to know general just so they get a frame of reference, but they don't say, when did you hit your 5%? When did you hit your 10%? And did you lose 25%? None of that matters. The only people who really care about the data and the timeline are people who are working the plan currently. Those who are at a fit and healthy weight, they're just glad to see someone else join the ranks and taking care of their body. That is the accomplishment. That I just let folks know that I'm happy. I'm at a size that I enjoy being at. I'm at a weight that I enjoy being at. And then together we just agree with that. And that is way more powerful than any of the data points along the way. So at some point you'll get there. At some point the data won't matter because you're at goal, and that is the true celebration. And Becky, thank you for writing in. We know that every time we quit the program, we almost always will join at a new higher weight. It's exactly how my journey went. Every time I quit, I ended up rejoining at a higher weight. So what I want you to do is continue doing everything you've done to hit your 25 pounds, your 5%, keeping yourself focused so that you never, ever, ever quit the program, and then you get to goal with that focus. It's that point that we celebrate. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on Listen Now, send in those celebrations, send in your comments, your questions, send them in to onair@fatdag.com. I'll work them into the show. I want you to email in your celebrations because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. It doesn't take a lot of work to do this. It takes focus. It takes you having to make the decision every time you sit down to eat. Does this food align with my goal, or does it not align with my goal? And do I care? I want you to choose things that align with your goal and make the best choice possible. Nothing is off limits, but some things don't fit into your goal every day of the week. And when you get to that point, when you have the control over the food, where you know that you can have anything you want, but what you've chosen more than anything is you've chosen to make goal. It's that mindset that'll carry you for the rest of your life. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Whoop, whoop. All right. What do you think? Whew. I think that was pretty fun. Let's see. Scroll through. I saw someone say something in here. Ellen says, Fat Dag doesn't like the label, but I've learned to embrace it. Go Turtles. Yeah, you're right. I'm not a big fan of the term. I like the concept. I just think it gives you permission. I think a lot of folks, not all, I don't know your journey. I think a lot of folks who label themselves as turtles are really folks who aren't following the plan. Not in your case, I'm sure that's not the case, but as long as you understand the difference between the two, if you're doing your best, whatever that means, and you're working the plan honestly and with the right focus and discipline, and the weight loss is slow, congratulations, be a turtle and move on with it. That's what I say about that. So Meow RN, thank you for that, or on Instagram. I'll give you a heads up, folks, on Instagram. In the middle of that, my phone said low battery, so if just randomly Instagram cuts out, it's because the battery died, so I apologize for that. The iPad over here stays plugged in, so that gets juice the entire time. The iPhone does not. So if it dies, then I'm sorry about that. Jessica says, this is your first time listening to you. You really enjoyed it. Thanks for your time. You're very welcome. And thanks for your service to the country. Of course, as you know, honored to do it. That's why we put this big gold flag up here, because that's the most important thing. So let's see what else we got over here on Facebook. Yeah, Stephen makes a great point. Half a pound a week, is not a turtle. Half a pound to a pound a week that's exactly how the plan's designed for that rate of weight loss. We sometimes we get into this comparison trap, and we see other people losing 3, 4, 5 pounds a week, and we think that is what's normal. What's normal is a half a pound to a pound and a half a week is completely normal through the process. So that's not a turtle by definition, right, Stephen? I agree with you. 47 pounds. I don't care what, you can call yourself whatever you want if you lost 47 pounds. Great work, for sure. So let's see, Alexandra, is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but it says, my weigh-in is tomorrow, hoping my unofficial weight for my home scale this morning is accurate. I really want to see 30 pounds down in the new decade of 359. I want to see that too. Congratulations on 30 pounds down. That's, whether you get it today, whether you get it next week, you're making the right choices and the right decisions to get to the right direction. So congratulations. Let's see. Nikki, you're very welcome. Angie, thank you. Ellen says thank you. A lot of people say great show. Woohoo. Becky, you're welcome. Let's see. Margie, Diane, very fun. Angie. Jill, you're very welcome. Here's what's funny is, I mean, I don't know if I've showed you this, but I don't take a lot of, let me just show you, for instance, how I do the show. This may be kind of hard to see. But so this is the email. Can you see that? And those are my notes right here. So I just write in and, I just read in and say, I just give myself talking points. Data doesn't matter. Not many care about my numbers. Only fellow Weight Watchers do. To them, I just say goal. So a lot of times when someone says, I heard you say this, I have to remember what I said because I just say what I feel at the moment. And there could be times that you could listen to 2 different episodes and I could probably contradict myself in a sense because every day is different. So there's going to be a day that I'm going to tell you don't ever eat pizza. Well, that day is the day that I'm not eating pizza because it doesn't align with my goals. And then 2 weeks later, I could say, well, if you wanted to have it, because I probably did at that point. So yeah, I could probably end up contradicting myself, but that's how the plan works. It's because every day I get to wake up and make a decision on what I want to do. And so the same way with the show is I just speak from the mindset that I'm in as I read your email and where I am in my journey. So I'm glad you liked the last bits. I'll have to go back and listen to see what I said. So Alexandra, I try and type it out phonetically for me just so I say it right. You're on episode 81. Thank you for being that. You're on episode 126 tonight, so you're catching up. Jill, yeah, I get that. So if as long as you're following the plan, the rest of it doesn't matter, Jill. So keep up the great work there. Kelly, that's amazing work. 43 pounds is fantastic. Yeah. Jan's asking me what Fat Dag thinks about the Springle plan. I support anyone who supports me, and what I support about this is that you have to find what works for you. I found what works for me, Steve found what works for him, and Steve shares his data with folks. I share my data with folks. I've never studied his plan to figure out if it's scientifically accurate or not. What I know about his plan is he stays within the framework of the Weight Watcher plan, so therefore I'm good with it. But it's not how I lost my weight, it's how he lost his weight. So what you need to do is you need to look at his plan. You need to look at the Weight Watcher plan. You need to look at all the tools available and develop your own plan for your own success. So I don't have any issue with anyone who's lost weight and is continuing to lose weight and is continuing to get healthy. You have to take what they say as some proof that what they're saying works, right? But there isn't a right way to do it. I think Steve and I, in a sense, disagree on, I'm very focused on the blue dot part of it. I'm very focused on why we're doing this. Steve is very focused on the following his plan, and that works for him. So you'll never hear me disagree with the plan, and I'll endorse it from the standpoint of I endorse it, meaning it's worked for him. And I believe he has your best interest at heart. And so you need to then figure out if it works for you. So hope that works. And Steve, did I summarize that well enough? I'm not sure if I did or not, but certainly it's a great discussion because I get asked it a lot, but I think the Weight Watcher framework is there for you to use, and his plan fits into their framework. It doesn't follow the blue dot rule, but we already know the blue dots have a couple of different issues in the blue dot system. So it's really up to you to balance between the two. So hope that helps a little bit. Let's see. Charlotte asking, where do you see fit points? The activity points are in your app. Just on the very top, you slide the slider over to activity, and you can see it. Becky, would I mind if you had Wayupsep engraved on a bracelet for you to wear as a reminder to focus on your journey? Of course not. Why would I mind? No. If you get to goal with that, then absolutely get to goal. Hey, Long Beach, California, checking in. Word. So yeah, Becky, absolutely do that. Tammy, I do. October 24th, I'm meeting with the Army to talk with a whole group of Army folks who were in the same scenario that I was in. So I should probably put a post out that talks about that for sure. I'll put it on Facebook. You're in a parking lot. That's funny. Yeah, Ellen, I agree with that, and so, yeah, I mean, I just tell you what I feel based on what's going on today. So you have to take, even the things I say, you have to take with your own feelings and your own life and figure them out. So let's see. Denise, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, Amy's downloading an episode. Very fun. Jan, you're very welcome. Yep. So Charlotte, I agree with that. Follow the Weight Watcher plan. Again, I've said this more than once. Weight Watchers has developed this plan. Scientists have set as, I don't even know how they do it, right? But I'm sure they do focus groups. I'm sure they pull people in and they have them follow the plan and they gather the results. They don't just make up this thing and go, hey, let's try this before they push it out to the, this is a big company with shareholders. I'm sure so the plan has to work, has to be proven. So for us to then, take all their years of research and go, well, I think they're wrong, let's do this, that's not the same. So I'm in complete agreement. You follow the Weight Watcher plan. So for sure. Yep. Thanks, Stephen. So that, yeah, we're on the same page from the standpoint of we're just trying to help everybody else figure out what part of their journey works best for them. So, it's kind of like running, right? And it actually goes back to what I said during the show is you could go to Google and find 18,000 ways to do this. Okay. Well, they don't all work or they all work. Who knows? So of those 18,000 plans that are out there, there's going to be someone that says, oh, that one doesn't work for me. So there's someone right now that says, oh, the Stevens plan doesn't work for me. Okay, great. There's someone that says, oh, Weight Watchers doesn't work. I tried it. It doesn't work for me. Right. So you have to then experiment and find out what works for you, use all the available tools, but knowing that someone who's giving you the advice is at goal, that carries a lot of credibility, doesn't it? I would think it does. It does to me. So if someone is systematically continuing to lose and they're doing that, then I'll take their advice. If at some point someone's gaining weight, I'm not going to follow their advice to the letter. I'm going to take what they say and go, okay, let me see how that relates to my journey. So very cool. Well, cool. Instagram, you're going to time out in 1:26. So good night to those of you on Instagram. Thank you for being here. We'll wrap up Facebook in just a little bit, but 1:17 left on Instagram, folks. So thank you all for being here for sure. So very cool. Let's see. I know, Ellen, too. It's a rare that I can do a Tuesday night, right? Denise, yeah, I will probably get some letters for Operation Fat Dag. I'll put a post out to get that done for sure. Martha, yeah, I don't know either. Martha says, how do you have time to work a full-time job, be a leader, do a podcast too? I just can't imagine how you get it all done, plus have a family as well. So I just prioritize some of the stuff, and so, if for 2 weeks I didn't have a show because the priority for me wasn't the podcast. I had other obligations that I had to prioritize. There's only 24 hours in a day. And so right now I'm in a window where this can pop back into the priority list. So it's always been a priority, but sometimes it doesn't raise high enough on my list. So that's why I do the show every single day, except for the days that I don't. So 10 seconds, Instagram. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I mean, Ellen, if you think about, I mean, the program every year, or not every year, but every so often they change, because they're following the latest, they're keeping an eye. So these folks are keeping an eye on everything we do, and they're figuring out, as long as they want us to be successful too, it does no good for this company to develop a plan that no one's successful on. So, Kelly, thank you for that. I appreciate, more than anything, that's what I appreciate you guys sharing the podcast, telling people to download the app. I see it all the time on Connect where you reach out to other people and say, download the app and have you listened to Fat Dag? So I appreciate that more than you know. Thank you so much for sharing that, Kelly. I appreciate that. Yeah, liver. Back in the day, you had to have liver. Jill, it's been around for 40 some years, I think. 47 is my guess. You can Google it. It's pretty easy to find that data. I don't know exact data, but I'm going to guess 40 or 50 years for sure. Nikki, welcome back then, for sure. Anne is doing Pilates live. Very fun. Yeah, so, Steve, we agree there. Follow folks who are going where you want to go, right? Yeah, that's the trick. Take all the people who are where you want to go, follow them, and develop your own plan with their insight. Katie, you're very welcome. Yep, the Facebook group, as you guys know, is wisewingmen.com. We'll get you there. Tammy, thank you for that. Tammy sent cards for Operation Fat Dag. So I check that mail once every other week or so they're probably over there sitting in the mailbox waiting for me. Yeah, it's Jean Nidich was the founder. That's her name. And so she passed away 3 years ago. But you can Google it, the history of Weight Watchers. It's actually a fascinating story. So very, very good stuff. All right, hashtag Book of Awesome. Let's get a couple more written in, and then we'll all go get some sleep and start over tomorrow, focused and on fire to get it done. So what do you got? Last call for Book of Awesome stuff. Book of Awesome. And then we'll sell the book to Oprah. You think she'd buy it? I don't know. Yeah, so Jan, what I do, so I do a couple talks a year to the military folks who are in the same place I was, getting ready to be probably booted from the military. So I share my story with them, and so I end the talk with me telling them that I believe in them, and then I also say that not only do I believe in them, that you believe in them, and then at that point I hand them cards that you've written in that say, I believe in you, you can do this, or whatever it is you want to write in a motivational card, and I hand them out to them and say, again, I believe in you, and these people believe in you as well. So I ask that you just mail those cards in every single podcast episode. If you click on the show notes, you'll see the address to where to send the cards to, and I go check that mail. I go check that mailbox a couple times a week. So very cool. Ooh, I like this one. This is very cool. New page. Lisa says, I was able to wear my engagement ring, something that I haven't done in 4 years. That's pretty cool. It means a lot for a couple different reasons, but that's very cool. Interesting story about my wedding band is that my original wedding band got to the point where it was too small, so I ended up buying this one 5 or 6 or so years ago, and I had to get it in a size 11 because my fingers got real big. So I wore this one forever, and then when I lost all the weight, this one was way too big. I had to take this one in and have it resized back down to the same size as my wedding band, my original one. So now I have 2 that are the same size, and they both fit. So very, very fun. So I understand that one for sure. So good job, Lisa. Proud of you. And you're always so good at that, for sure. Ha! All right, let's end it on this note here with Angie. Angie says, saw yourself in a full-length mirror and you didn't believe it. Oops. Never been this small before. Huh. Isn't that awesome? Well, congratulations. For sure. All right. Well, cool. There's Lisa and Angie written in the Book of Awesome. Written in for life. And the only person who will ever see it again is Oprah when she buys the book. Fun stuff. Hey, thanks for being here. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's get you guys off to bed. Let me get the show published. Episode 126 is done. It's in the books, as we say. But, you know, this continues to help me on my journey as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Just thank you for being a part of it. It's just exciting what we're able to accomplish together. And I appreciate that. So, with all that said, we know this is hard work. It takes focus and discipline. You got to want this more than anything. You can get there. I know you can get there. I believe you can get there, but it has nothing to do with luck. You've got to remain disciplined. You got to stay focused on what it is you're trying to do. So I don't wish you good luck on your journey. I wish you good focus. Have a good night.